Hey there, Chef D Malfi here, and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. This is a show where every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, I prepare with you an easy, a healthy, and delicious recipe straight out of my monthly Plant-Based Made Easy cookbook. I'm very excited because we are in week 2 of our November cookbook, and today we are making our Wellness Wednesday dinner recipe. This is a cauliflower and quinoa burger. I cannot wait to show you how delicious this one is, and so easy. I said that already, but I'm just going to emphasize simple, healthy, and delicious is our philosophy here in My Choice, Plant-Based Made Easy. And I'm really excited to showcase this one. So if you are new here, tell me where you're calling in from, where you're watching in from. I see my mom. And if you have any questions along the way about plant-based eating or living, you can type them in the comment box. And if you can, please give this video a like, a comment, or a follow, and share it with other people that might want to use this recipe, make this recipe, and enjoy all of the recipes that we have to offer. So our cauliflower quinoa burgers, never been easier. I'm going to show you how to make it. I had to do some pre-prep ahead of time because there's a couple steps here. First things first, we need cauliflower. So let me grab my head of cauliflower. You can use any color that you want. I'm going to use this beautiful orange cauliflower, which I've already roasted up. And what you want to do is just get it into a big bowl, cut it into florets. Obviously, you want to keep it as dry as possible. So wash it, but then dry it really well before it goes into the oven. And then put it on the baking sheet and spread it in a thin layer. You want to make sure that there's no pieces that are sitting on top of every piece, and a thin layer of cauliflower so that everything can cook evenly and slowly. And then pop them into an oven about 450 degrees. And you want to bake them or roast them until they're nice and fork tender. And it usually takes between 15 and 20 minutes. And if your oven runs really kind of low, then maybe pump it up to 475 or even 500. But you want to cook it until it's tender. Now, I want to make sure that once you do that, you have these big florets and you can kind of pull them apart with your hands, which I've already done. And then you can put all this together in a bowl along with some of your other ingredients. So I have some other ingredients here. So in this bowl here, I'm going to do an overhead cam. You can see that I have some cooked cauliflower. I have some oats. And then I have some cooked quinoa. These are the 3 elements that we're going to need for our burger recipe. And this is really kind of the staple for a really good veggie burger. I like using oats because it's going to add kind of a nice consistency, and it's going to kind of help to stick everything to stick together really nicely. I love using a grain element. That's why I'm choosing quinoa. This is going to not only also create a nice sticky patty, but it's going to add a lot more protein. And then obviously that cauliflower is going to give you great flavor and then lots of fiber. So these are our main ingredients. Now, the other ingredient that we need is we need to actually make a plant-based egg or a vegan egg. And this is really important for most veggie burgers. So I'm going to show you that it's simple to make a vegan egg. What you want is some flaxseed, which I have here. This is regular golden flaxseed. It kind of has this tan or brown color. These are whole. So to make a vegan egg, what you would do is you would pulse this in a food processor until it's a fine meal or flour. And here's what it looks like. This is flaxseed meal, also known as flaxseed flour. And it looks really kind of fine like this. It's really great. Wow, I see Deb Sharp is here. She's watching from Holland, Michigan. I thought it was, I said, wow, because I thought you're watching from Holland, but you're watching from Michigan, the town of Holland. Awesome. So here's how we're going to make our flaxseed egg. We need the flaxseed meal. You can also buy it, you guys. I wanted to show you 2 ways. I like to make flaxseed meal, but here, this is what it looks like if you purchase it. Usually comes in a bag and it says meal. It sometimes will say flour also. So it goes by both terms. They're both right. What you do is you take a couple tablespoons of the flaxseed meal and you combine it with a little bit of cold filtered water, which I have measured out here. And you let it sit. And look what happens when it sits. It gets nice and jelly-like. So I'm just going to wiggle it in front of the camera. Do you guys see that? Right? It looks kind of like an egg, kind of like jelly-like. That's what we want. This flaxseed egg is nice and ready to go. I actually made this last night because I wanted to experiment. What happens with the flaxseed egg if you let it sit overnight? And turns out it actually gets even more kind of gluey and jelly and perfect. It's really even a lot better when you let it sit for a longer time than 5 minutes. So try this, do it overnight, let it sit in your refrigerator in a little glass container like I have. Okay, now we need some flavor agents. We're definitely going to use some red onion. We're going to use some parsley, and then we're going to use some garlic powder, which I have here, and some S&P. So now everything goes right into a food processor, which I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it right here on the side of the cam so you can kind of see it. Let me move this so you can see it even. There we go. All right, so first things first, we have our oats. We have our quinoa, and we have our cauliflower. This is going to go right in. And we have, you said Ken from Canada? Jennifer watching from Ottawa, Canada. Hello, Jennifer. All right. And Renee, we have you. Karen's here. My mom's here. Awesome. I'm missing. And Deb. I already said hi to Deb. And Cindy. Yay. All right, awesome. That goes in. Now I want that flaxseed egg going in as well. Now I'm just going to use a little bit of this onion, like a quarter of the red onion. So I'm just going to chop this up. I don't know if I made this clear, but I definitely want you to use cooked quinoa. Don't go and use quinoa that's not cooked. Here's what it should look like, you guys. This is cooked quinoa. It takes about a cup, and this is what it should look like. Nice and fluffy. I just wanted to show you that just in case. Can't put the raw quinoa in because it wouldn't come together. So cook it up first, and then you want to add it to your mixture. And I'm going to use just a little bit of this red onion.
Beta from UK.
And Beta from the UK. Hello. All right. Got a global audience today. All right, I'm going to chop this up just quickly just to kind of help out the food processor. And I'm going to pop this in the food processor along with some flavor agents. I said I was going to use garlic powder, and I want you to have free reign. You can use anything that you want. I'm using a little California garlic powder because it's delicious. I'm just going to flavor this up, but you could use, let's say you wanted a little spice, maybe cayenne pepper, maybe chili powder, doesn't matter. A little freshly ground black pepper. And then of course we want some sea salt, which I have here, and I'm going to use sea salt, about a teaspoon. It might seem like a lot, but you really want these to be nice and flavored. Now, if you are salt-free, then you can use any of your favorite salt substitutes. That would be just fine. All right, so I'm going to pop this aside. Salt goes there. We don't need the flaxseed anymore. We do need a little tiny bit of parsley. So I love using parsley because it's going to give it a nice like herbaceousness. And I have my parsley here in a mason jar. I fill it with just a little bit of water, like an inch or so, inch or two. And I'm just going to use like a quarter of a cup. And don't worry if this has already been washed, by the way, just FYI. Don't worry if you use a little bit of the stems, that's fine, because the food processor is going to actually make sure that this is nice and mixed together and chopped up. So I'm kind of like opting in for a couple of these stems. That's okay. And it's about a quarter of a cup packed. And then you want something that will give it a little bit added moisture. So I think I'm going to use a little coconut oil. Now, if you're whole food plant-based, meaning you don't use salt, sugar, or oil, that's okay. You can modify this however you want. So if you don't want coconut oil, that is fine. Just leave it out. If you wanted to add a little bit of veggie broth, you could. If you wanted to add a little bit more water, you absolutely could. And I'm just going to use about a tablespoon, which I'm going to eyeball here. Ooh, it's got like kind of.
Barcelona, Spain.
Wow, Irina from Barcelona, Spain. Welcome. Cool. Thanks for joining us. I should say bienvenidos. And Aaron here. Hello, hello. All right. So that's just a tablespoon or so of coconut oil. Drop my towel. Now I want to make sure I have everything, you guys, and I'm reading right from my printed pages of my cookbook here. If you haven't downloaded already, it's totally a must. We'll drop the download link right here for the November cookbook. So we've got the flaxseed meal, which we turned into an egg. We've got the cauliflower. We've got the quinoa. We've got the oats. Good, good, good. We've got the onion, parsley, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and coconut oil. Now that, my friends, is a nice burger mixture. So I'm just going to pulse this in my food processor. And if you're wondering which food processor I use, it's called a Ninja, and it's awesome. It comes with multiple tops. This one is the food processor top. It also comes with a blender top for like a big blender, and then a small blender for an individual smoothie. And I'm just going to show you right here, this view. And you can see I'm just kind of pressing the pulse button. And stop it halfway and then kind of run a spatula or spoon around and make sure that everything is kind of not stuck on the blade, but like really kind of mixing around. You don't want to over mix this because it will get too mushy. So that's why we're pulsing. Little bits of onion is great. Little bits of parsley is also fine. And I think that is great. I think that's going to look perfect. I want a little consistency. I want a little texture for my veggie burger. So this looks great. All right, I'm going to show you here in the overhead cam. You can see the side view here. And then here's the view of inside. See how it's kind of chunky? That's what we're looking for. Yeah? Cool. Now, I want to go ahead and cook this up, and I'm going to get a saute pan working. I wanted to mention one other thing. If you don't want to use a full head of cauliflower, you don't have time to roast it, save yourself a step and use organic rice cauliflower. This is a really good step. You can get this in the freezer section of most grocery stores now. And what it is just, it's pre-cooked and then like cut up or diced or riced, as they call it, cauliflower bits. And it's really, really good for a recipe like this. So this would be an option for you as well. All right, I'm going to get my saute pan on. Now we're going to go ahead and just make these right in the saute pan, but you can grill them up, and you can also cook them in the oven if you wanted to, 450 degrees, and you will have a burger in probably 10 minutes. I would bake it on one side, then flip it, and then bake it on the other side. I'm going to use a little bit of avocado oil, just like to get my pan nice and hot too. So let me do that now. Yeah. Cheryl asked the question, if I wanted to turn any of the burger recipes into like a meatloaf or a loaf, what changes should I make to make that happen? So Cheryl is just referring to the fact that we always include a burger recipe in every single one of our cookbooks. It's always on week 2, day 3, which is the day that we're in right now of our month. And you can use any burger recipe and turn it into 2 different things. Actually, let me say 4 different things. So you can either turn it into sliders, which are small patties, large burgers, which are the larger regular like size hamburger patties or veggie patties. You could also turn it into a meatloaf by putting it into a loaf pan. And you could also use a mini cupcake liner, and you can actually cook it in a mini cupcake liner to get like little tiny, I guess you would call them what? Like meat loaves, little tiny meatloaves, mini meatloaves. There you go. And I'll go ahead and add a 5th. You can also use the large cup, the regular cupcakes size. And you can actually cook them that way as well. You wouldn't want to change anything about the recipe. You really don't need to. All you would need to do is change up the cook time. And that really depends on which type that you're making. For sliders and burgers, it really takes about the same kind of time, maybe a few more minutes for the large size burgers. And my guess is for cupcakes, the mini versus the regular cupcake size, it might take in the oven, like at 450 degrees, between, my guess is like 18 to 22 minutes. So that's a kind of a wide range. So make sure that you check. And really, you would just kind of like stick a fork in it like you would a cupcake. Or if you're doing a meatloaf, like a full loaf pan, stick a fork in it or a knife. And if it comes out clean, then it's done. I shouldn't have any of that like residual quinoa kind of mushiness on it at all. All right, so I have my avocado oil nice and hot. I'm now going to just make this right away into a patty shape. So I'm going to grab my blade first. Grab your blade first. Do that because I just cut myself the other day. Don't cut yourself. So help yourself out. Grab a big, like maybe like a less than a golf ball size, actually. Perfect amount. Golf ball size. That seems to be right. And I'm going to make between a slider and a regular size patty. There you go. Beautiful, right? This goes right down. And this will make about 6 of these size burgers. Should, anyway. Yeah, the oats are binding it together. The quinoa is helping it out. And the flax egg, most importantly, the flax egg, because it got so super jelly-like and had that jelly consistency, it's really acting as the primary glue here.
We had a Kenny from Scotland.
Yay! Kenny from Scotland. Oh, and I see Vincent Lee is here. Vincent's in the house. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. So I'm just going to cook up 4 of these patties. I'll save the rest for later. These are also really great to freeze. You can cook them on both sides, cook them all the way through, let them cool on a plate with a paper towel, kind of to drain them a little bit. And once they're super cool, completely cool, you can pop them into a stasher freezer bag or sustainable freezer bag and just freeze them. Oh, well, you know what? We've come so far. Why don't I just do all of them? Is that all right? Yeah, perfectly 6. And Natalie's in the house. Hello. You guys need, if you're looking for life insurance, go to Vincent Lee. Thanks for your email, Vincent. All right. Oh, Renee, good question. Okay, Renee asked, can you make a vegan egg from chia seeds as well? You absolutely can. I recommend that you try lots of different vegan eggs. I like flaxseed the most because it's the most neutral flavor and like consistency. The chia seed egg tends to have like a little bit more of a flavor profile, like a stronger flavor. Not much, but something. More than the flaxseed, I think. And it also tends to have more of a crunch, which I don't necessarily love in my egg. I use the chia seed egg a lot when I'm baking. So the choice is yours. No right or wrong at all. All right, these are working hard, you guys. I want to take this moment to just tell you about our Celebrate with Plant-Based Made Easy, our class coming up. This is our Thanksgiving Celebrate class on November 22nd. I'm very excited. That is a Sunday, next Sunday. It's going to be happening at 4 p.m. It's a 90-minute private group lesson and class to learn all about how to make a plant-based Thanksgiving. We're going to be making a 5-course plant-based Thanksgiving. I know we don't normally course out the Thanksgiving meal, but for this year I wanted to. It's going to be really, really great. I have 5 wonderful recipes for you. And for signing up, you're going to get a mini cookbook. It's going to come with all of the recipes. It's going to have a grocery list in it. And it's going to be really great. Hopefully this is going to be a Thanksgiving menu that you can use year after year. And I'm really excited. So consider joining us for that, you guys. We'll put the link here if you want to sign up. It's really easy to do so. There it is. And I hope that you will join us. We have a couple people that have already signed up. I should say several people now. And everyone's really excited. I'm really excited for the menu. It's going to be fantastic. And I'm just looking at these burgers here. Yay. Okay, Barbara, you watch later. Thank you so much for being here. All right, I'm just going to come back to the burgers here. And I need a little bit more oil. I really want to make sure these don't stick. So I'm going to use a little bit more oil. If you are whole food plant-based and you don't want to use any oil, maybe grilling these would be the better option. And you can grill them on a grill pan, or you can grill them on a backyard barbecue, which would be fantastic. This looks great. And I think as soon as I see kind of the edges are getting nice and crispy, which I see is happening right here, I can give it a flip. Now look at that. It gets nice and crispy just like this. I'm going to try to do this fast here. I probably won't cook all of these all the way through, but I definitely need at least one to plate. And try not to crowd your pan. So see, I have a lot of air and space in between each of these burgers, which is super important. There we go. All right. So we've got 2 so far. Yum. Smells delicious in here. This the red onion is smelling great. I can even smell the parsley. I love it. I can smell the garlic powder as well. And friends, you can mix it up. You can make this however you want. If you want to add a little bit of chili powder, like I said, if you wanted to add a little bit of dried parsley, dried thyme instead of regular fresh parsley, that's fine. You can also change up the grains. You can actually use brown rice instead of quinoa. You can use regular rice. You can use wild rice. Lots of different ways. And then, you know me, I love different types of oats. So If you wanted to use your sprouted oats instead of your rolled oats, now is a great time to do that. It's going to be exactly the same. It'll still be kind of like a binder or a thickener, which is great. And these are crisping up really nicely. I like the color. I like my veggie burgers with like a nice crunch on the sort of like outside right here. It kind of makes me think of meat, right? When burgers have that nice kind of like Maillard reaction on the top and the bottom, it's nice and crispy. Adds like just a nice crunch, slight crunch, I should say.
You talk about what oil you're using?
Yeah, I'm using avocado oil right here in this pan. Avocado oil is a neutral oil. It has a high smoke point, so you can use it for things like this. And it's neutral, so it's not going to impart any additional flavor or anything. It's just really nice for cooking. Look at these. These are coming out perfect. Now, to serve up your burger, obviously you can serve this in a bun. You can serve it on a piece of toast if you want a toast burger. Do you guys ever do toast burgers? 2 slabs of toast. Yum. I love toast burger. Or you could do it lettuce wrap, which is my absolute favorite. So I'm going to use a lettuce wrap today. What I've done is I've taken any kind of hearty lettuce. I have a green leaf head here. And I get this from my CSA farm box. It's beautiful, right? And I really want to wash this. I want to cut or peel or tear off some whole leaves and then wash them in cold water, really cold water, kind of wake them up. You can see these are kind of starting to wilt a little bit on the edges, just a little bit. And I want to wake them up. So what I do is I shock them in cold water, which I've done here, and I let them then dry on paper towels in a little bowl. And you can see look at how like more firm the tops of these are compared to the ones I showed you in the colander. This is nice and kind of hearty and thick and just like kind of like rehydrated. It works really, really well. So don't let it soak in the water, but definitely, definitely go ahead and let it like shock for 30 seconds to a minute and then dry them. You can see these are really nice and dried. I'm going to show you in the overhead just so you can see. Super dry. Right? I don't want any of my lettuce wraps to be kind of waterlogged because that's going to take away from the flavor of everything else. All right. Well, I think that's great. You can use also red leaf. You can use any romaine would work great, but I like green leaf as my favorite for lettuce wrap because it's super curly. And so you can kind of like really wrap like your burger inside and it becomes like a perfect little bun situation. A green bun. All right. You can also serve your burgers with some roasted potatoes or some French fries. So I have these here and ready. These look really good. Fantastic. You can do any herbs and spices that you want. And then get yourself some nice sauces. I love vegan deli style organic spicy brown mustard. Yum, 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 yum. My favorite. One of the reasons I love spicy brown mustard in general is because it contains turmeric, which is very, very good for our bodies, very anti-inflammatory. And I love mustard on my burger, especially my veggie burger. So I think my veggie burgers are done. Let me just check it out here. See if I can grab one. I can. Which one do I want?
Use sprouted quinoa.
I used regular quinoa, but you can certainly use sprouted quinoa or sprouted oats. Doesn't matter. All right, well, look at this. Now, if you didn't know, you might think like if you're just joining us right now, this kind of looks like a turkey burger, kind of looks like a chicken burger, right? Well, it isn't. It is cauliflower and quinoa. It's got a nice kind of like crispiness on the outside edges, the top and the bottom. With meat protein, we call that a Maillard reaction, but I don't think you can call it that here because there's no animal protein in this. But it looks great. It's nice and crispy. I'm just going to let this sit for a second. If I wanted to, if it was really kind of like oily, I could just let it sit right on a paper towel. And I could even pat it a little bit, which I will do. Yeah, this again, I just want to emphasize this oil here is avocado oil and it has a high smoke point. So it's really good for like frying up burgers and things like this. Yeah. All right. So I'm just patted this a little bit. I can see a little bit of oil coming off. Let me pop this aside. I'm going to get a couple lettuce wraps. That looks great. I sometimes like to do 2 pieces of lettuce. No, that one's not as great. I want a larger lettuce wrap here. There we go. These 2 look great. Perfect. Say that again.
The eating one, not the photo one.
All right, so these are great. And I'm gonna take these two edges and I kind of wanna, like, you can see the stem or the core is still intact. I want you to actually stack them. So the centers or the cores should be stacked on top, and that's gonna kind of hold it together. I'm gonna place my veggie burger right down on top. Up a little bit. I can then add a little mustard, mayo, whatever. Make sure it's vegan or plant-based if you're using mayo. Give it a couple squirts of the mustard, and I love the deli style. Now, here we go, you guys. This looks fantastic. If I wanted to, I could grab another piece of lettuce, and I could just do a second piece right on top, but I don't need a second piece. I think what I'm going to do is just kind of fold it in. And you have yourself a beautiful, look at this. This looks amazing. Cauliflower quinoa burger, lettuce wrapped. You can see there's like some smoke, some just like delicious, warm burger patty ready. That's like, hot right out of the saute pan. A little roasted potatoes. I'm going to give this a little taste because quality control. Before I do, I'm going to give this food a little gratitude. Thank you, food. Thank you, God. Here we go. Oh my goodness. What? Now, I know I say that every single day, but every single day I mean it. Oh, this is so good. Oh, this veggie burger is so darn delicious. You guys, I've kept this very simple, so the flavors are simple. You could actually kick this up any way that you want. Oh, I love the oats. I love the cauliflower. The cauliflower is giving it really nice flavor, different than any kind of veggie burger I've had in the past, which is usually like, I often find like black bean burgers. I often find burgers made with beets or oats. Those are kind of typical ingredients, but cauliflower is more unique, and it's really yummy. One more bite. You guys have to try this, and it's great on the lettuce wrap. Yummy. All right, I'm gonna place this down. I'm gonna finish this later. You guys, if you make this recipe, if you make it your own, if you change the recipe at all, please take a photo. I love all the photos that I'm seeing in the Facebook group. You guys are changing up the recipes just slightly. I saw someone made the amazing kale Caesar salad yesterday, and they did the trick with adding capers, even though that wasn't in our dressing. We talked about it yesterday. It looked phenomenal. So I love the new additions. Thank you guys for joining me in this experience to cook for the entire month. Plant-based cooking is amazing. It feels really good in the body. It feels really good sharing this food with my family. Do you agree? Are you guys in it to win it like I am? Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely, Natalie says, I'm glad that you're here. Renee says, looks delicious. Fantastic. Diane says, yummy. There's the cheer squad. My mom says, yummy. Amazing, amazing. You guys, I want to just tell you that on Friday, we're going to do something a little different. I'm very excited. I'm going to bring on some guests to Plant-Based Made Easy. Starting this Friday, I have my friend Cassidy that's coming to do the show with us. She's going to be cooking alongside with me. Please join me for that. But before we get to Friday, we have Thursday, which is tomorrow. I'm going to show you how to make a really quick, yummy, and protein-rich snack. You will not want to miss it, so come for that. And then on Friday, we're going to be making a delicious dessert with a guest in the house. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed these recipes. Please keep coming back. Again, please like, please comment, and please share this video with anyone that you think that will love it and love these recipes. And have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Peace.